Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to this channel, please. And if you have subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. So our topic today will be file handling. So in this tutorial, I'm gonna teach you guys the read method, the readline method, the readlines method, the write method, and the append method. So let's get started. Before we start, I want to show you guys the content of my directory, what I have in my directory. I have just my file. So I want to show you guys the content of my file. I'm doing this because I'll be reading from this file. So my file, you can see this is what I have in my file. So now let's create our own file. Let's create a file for this tutorial. Let's create vim file.py. So here, to open a file, use f equal to open. This takes two arguments. This takes the name of the file and the mode. So the name of the file is my file, followed by the mode, which is the read mode I want to read. Then followed by, to read this, let me create a variable file content equal to, then I'll have to call the read function f.read. Then I want to print file content. I want to print the content of my file. I want to print the file content. Then I must, while using this method, I must close. Close. So let's run our code. Write on 3 file.py. You can see it printed the content of my file, but you can see there's a difference between this, the first one, and this. This one gave me an extra line. So in order to prevent this, open the file. So after printing, you have to then end is equal to this. Just double quote. You can use double single quote or double quotes, and make sure you close it. So this will eliminate the extra line or the new line, whatever you call it. So you can see it eliminated the extra line. So let me now teach you guys what context manager is. You know, with this method you must close, but with context manager you don't have to close. Let me delete this because I would have no need for it. So with this, instead of this, you know, this f is equal to open my file, this. So with this, just use this code with open, then as f, but this should be indented. And while indenting, you either use tabs or space. You don't use the two. Here I'm using only tabs. You can notice in my previous tutorials I was using space. You can use anyone that is convenient for you. You can either use space or use tab. Don't use the two. Don't make the mistake of using the two together, else your code will print an error message. So let's run this code. Let's run it. Right on through. You can see, give me the same thing. So now our next topic here will be the readline function. We have the readlines function and the readline function. The readline prints out the first line of our file. It prints out the first line of our file. So here, instead of saying read, if you want to print out the first 100 characters, the first 20 characters, you can just use this. You input it, you have to specify that I want to print read so and so number of characters to get. So now let's go over to readline function. Readline function, like I said, readline function prints the first line each time it is called. So let me call it here readline. Let's run this code. You can see it's only printed this is file. The reason for the space is because of the end, which I removed. I removed it when I was trying to show you guys how to print characters. So let me go and let me reintroduce it. Put it back. Put it back. So end equal to you can see. So if you want to, in this read line, if you want to print the second line, because this read the first line, if you want to print the first and the second line, you have to call this function again, the readline function again. So let me go to the next line. I have to call it again. File content. I have to call it again. File content is equal to f dot read line. Call it again. File contents and equal to this. Then let's run our code. You can see it printed first line and the second line. So you want such a way where it will, when you call the function again, it will print out the first line again instead of going ahead to print the second line. So if I call this readline function again, it will go ahead to print the third line. So if you want it to start afresh to call the first line again, you use this function, the f.seek function. So let me to be in between before you call the function again. Then you have to f.seek 0. So let's run the code. You can see it printed this is file 1, this is file 1. To print it over and over again. Without this, it will print the second line. If I call the function for the third time, it will print the third line and so on. So this is it. So to use let me now show you guys between the readline function and the readlines function. For the readlines, let me delete this. For the readlines, you can see how it read it. Printed all on one line. And see this is file. You know this, my read line, the normal read function printed this. This is file. After this, there is a new line. Then line 2. After this, there's a new line. Because if there is no new line 2 would have been printed on the same line as line 2. So this is showing this printed. This is file 1 followed by a new line, comma, this is line 2 followed by a new line, this followed by a new line, this followed by a new line. You can see it. Read lines function. This is what it does. So now in the read line function I taught you guys, let me go back. Let me clear this. Let me clear my screen. So another way to read from a file, you can also use to read. So let's start by opening with open. I want to open my file. and I want to read from the file. I want to read as F. So to iterate, you have to go into a for loop. For lines in F, let's say I say F as file. For lines in the file, tab, print lines by end equal to this. So let's run our code. Run our code, Python 3, file.py. You can see, you can also iterate. So let's go back to the write function. Let's go back to the write function. So the only thing you have to modify here, I want to write into another file. Let me create another file. Let me name this file 2. Let me create another file. Because with this write function, you can create a new file. Let's name it file 2. So in this file, I want to write into this file. And let's say I don't want to write yet. It's in the write mode, but I don't want to write yet. Just use the keyword pass. That's all. So let's go back and run our code. Let's run our code. So let's check the list of the items we have here. You can see file 2 has been created. You can create other files with this. Let me create another file. Let me create another file. Let's say file 3. Let me run the code. ls. You can see file 3 has been created. So let's open our file and let's write into file 2. To write into file 2, do f.write, call the f.write function. Inside this, it will just take, you don't have to input whatever you want to write. I want to write my name is Mary. And I want it to have a new line. My name is Mary. Then let's go back. Let's run our code. Now I wrote my name is Mary inside file 2. Let's check the content of file 2. Cat file 2. Where did I write it in? Wait. Now I wrote it inside file 3, not file 2. It's file 3. And see, my name is Mary, written inside file 3. So you can also, if you want to write something into a file, you can create a variable. Because I want to use this and show you guys the difference between, there is also a writeline function or writeline method. Let me use this and show you guys the difference. So here, let me create a variable. Let me name it string 1 equal to, inside my string, I want to have this. I want to write this. Let's say I am a software engineer. So I want to write this inside it. So here, instead of, this is what I have. So now fwrite, inside it, I don't have str1. Just call the variable. So let's go and run our code. That file. Run the code. So let's view the content of file 3. You can see I'm a software engineer. I didn't include a new line. That's why it's like this. When I included a new line, it would have been on decency. It should have prompted me on a new line. So let me show you guys another example, because this is the write function. Had it been I use this, I want to create a list of something. Let's say a list of animals here. I want to create a list of animals. So now, you know how to create a list. To create a list in Python, you use this. I want to create a list. So, this is the write function. Let me try creating a list of animals. I have lion. Then I want it to have a new line. I have tiger. I want it to have a new line. I have zebra. I want it to have a new line. Then let's close. Let's try running this code. Let's try running the code. You can see it produced an error, because write arguments, it must be a string, not list. The write function does not accept a list, but with the write lines, the write line function accepts a list. So let's open it. Then let's use the writelines function. You can see my code ran perfectly well. So now let's now read the content of file 3. Cat file 3. You can see I have lion, tiger, zebra. If you're using the line function, you won't be able to do this. You won't be able to do this. This is what, if you want to create a list of something, you use the writelines function. So now, you can also create a copy of a file. Like here now, I have file 3. So let's create a copy of file 3. As it's reading and writing to a file. I want to read from file 3 and write into another file. I'll create another file named file 4. So let's open it. So here, it open as here. Let me close this. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. So here, I'm opening. First of all, I'm opening file 3, and this file 3, I want to read from it, because here I want to read and write into a file. So use the RF mode. RF as RF, not as F, as RF. So you indent. Then with open, I have to open another one for writing. The file I'll write into. With open, I want to write into I create another file 4. So I want the file 4 to have the exact content of file 3. File 4. I want to note this. I'm reading from this one, not writing. So I have to change the mode to read. Then I'll be writing into file 4. File 4. I'm writing into it as WF. Then I have to enter into a for loop. I have to indent. Then for lines in RF, that is for lines in file 3. I taught you guys how to loop through a file. So for line in RF, there was F, lines in F, but here is for line in RF instead of F. So for lines in RF, you have to indent again. Then WF dot write. WF dot write. You are writing what? You are writing the lines. It's written over. You're writing the lines. So let's run this code. Let's run our code. Python 3. So you can see we've created file 4. File 4 wasn't present before. We created file 4. Now let's view the content of file 4. cat file 4. You can see file 4 and file 3 now has the same content. So then another functional method we have is the append method. The append method. If you want to, if you are just using the write method, you're writing. The write method will always overwrite what you have in a file that is already there. If I have like this file 3, if I want to write something else into it, whatever I write into it will overwrite whatever I had in the original content of the file. So if you want to append, if you want to keep the original content, you want to add something to the file, you use the append method. So here, let's take a look. If you have seen the content of file 3, so let me try writing something else to file 3. So let me delete this so you guys understand better. So in my file 3, I have names of wild animals. So let me just try writing something in my file 3. So I have this. So let me try writing something in it. Let me try writing it. It's in the write mode now. So I want to remove the R. Remove the R. Then f.write. I want to write my name is Mary here. I want to write my name is Mary. So let's run the code. What I have in my file 3 before was lion, tiger, and zebra. So let me run my code. Cat. Let me run the code. Let me now check the content of my file 3. Cat file 3. You can see it overwrote what I have in the original content of my file 3. So if I wanted to append, had it been I want to append, if I use the append function, what I will have is lion, tiger, zebra, then my name is Mary. So let's try doing this. This is like this because I didn't include a new line. So if you are doing this, don't forget to include a new line here. Include a new line here. For beginners, for the purpose of beginners, let me do it. This is a symbol of a new line. So let me run the code. Let me now view the contents. You can see it's now on a new line. Then let me now show you guys the append method, how to use the append method. Let me show you guys how to use the append method. To append, instead of W, you use A. So let's go and append to file 4 for easy understanding. File 4 also has the list of wild animals. It can show you guys so that you guys understand better. Cat file 4. You can see what I have in my file 4. Let me now append my name is Mary to file 4. So let me change the name of the file. Just have to change the name of this file. File 4. Then that's all. You can see I used A instead of this append method, the append mode. Then I want to write my name is Mary into it. So let's run our code. Python 3, then cat file 4. You can see it appended. Unlike the other one, the other method I used, the write mode. The write mode will always overwrite, while this append mode will just to append. If I want to add something else to the file, I'll use the append mode. So now let me now teach you guys how to delete a file. You can see what I have here. I have file 2, file 3, file 4. So let me delete file 2. So let me open my file. Let me delete all this. So to delete, use the import os, then os dot remove, then the name of the file. I want to remove file 2, that's all. Then let me run my code. Run the code. Then let's check the list of the files we have. You can see file 2 is no longer present. So this is it. This is all for now for file handlings. So please kindly subscribe to my channel to get more videos from me. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. You can also practice this. Make sure you practice this, because practice makes perfect. You can't just learn this without practicing it. If you want to know it very well, make sure you practice it. So take care of yourself. Bye.